Very good morning, my dear students. So in this PPT, we will study about the fuel supply system in CI engine. Okay, in last class we studied about the fuel supply system in SI engine. So now we are studying about the how to supply fuel in from fuel tank to engine in SI vehicle. That is compression ignition engine system. Okay, normally it is called as diesel engine. Okay, so the main difference between there and here means there we are not using any injector system. Okay, now that is a homogeneous. This is a heterogeneous system. Okay, so let me understand before this what you mean by CI engine fuel supply system. Okay, so normally the diesel fuel system is the primary job of a diesel fuel system is to inject the small amount of an atomized and pressurized fuel into each engine cylinder at the previous time along okay, now you are supplying the fuel to the engine within a limited time or at a previous time within the time you are going to supply. Okay, the major parts of a diesel system are to the fuel tank, fuel transformer, pump, fuel filters, injection pump, and the injection nozzle. Okay, so here also similar type of components are we are using, but here something different. There the fuel is petrol, here the diesel. Okay, now here completely the mix up of air fuel mixture is taken place inside the cylinder, hence it is also called as an heterogeneous system. Okay, in fuel supply of in SI engine it is called as a homogeneous because the air fuel mixture is mixing in a carburetor and that is an external. So here air and fuel is mixing within the cylinder, so it is called as heterogeneous system. Okay, the main parts of an this system to supply a engine is first one is the fuel storage tank, that is a diesel tank. So fuel transfer pump, fuel filter, injection pump, and that is a fuel injection. Okay, it is also called as a nozzle in full injection nozzle. Okay, so this is a schematic diagram of this how to supplying a fuel from fuel tank to engine. So this is very important as compared to previous one. This one is important because 2-3 times they asked in the university examination explain with a neat sketch how to supply fuel system from CI engine. Okay, so here it consists of four major parts. It is a fuel tank, that is called as a diesel tank. Then a pump is fixed, that is a low pressure pump. Again there is a filter. Here filters there may be a two, maybe there in some filters they are using single filters, some filters consist of two filter also, primary filter. Okay, again that residual diesel engine, that is filter diesel is again transferring into the filter. Again that from the filter they are transferring to the fuel injection pump. Okay, so these are the components of supplying a fuel to the engine in a CI engine. So how it will work, I will explain. Similar type of explanation is there. So first, diesel tank. Okay, in the diesel tank already we know tank means to store or reservoir. It will store the fuel, that is a diesel, it will store in a diesel tank, everyone know in a vehicle. Okay, from the diesel tank it will supply to the pump first. Okay, now that is low pressure pump. Okay, now from the pump it will transfer or it will flow to the filter. In filter there are two types of filters are there. Some vehicles they are using two filters and some type vehicles are using direct only single filter. That is, if two means primary filter, secondary filter. Okay, in filter all we, as we know, if as the name indicate filter, it will filter the fuel. That is, it will not contain any dust particle. If anything dust particle, any raw mix up with that in fuel tank, it will completely clean the fuel. Then the filtered fuel is transferred into the fuel injection pump. Okay, in fuel injection pump is connected with fuel injector where it will inject the fuel in the engine cylinder. Okay, now some time it will takes place here. So what you call then ignition lag period takes place. Okay, immediately it will load the ignite. Okay, now in fuel injector it will inject the fuel into the cylinder. As we know, in cylinder again there are four strokes will be there: suction stroke, compression stroke, power stroke, and exhaust stroke. When the fuel inject into the cylinder, there the combustion takes place. From the combustion some spark will be produced. Then from that vehicle will move on the road. This is about the working of this fuel injection system. The main difference between those and this means it is both are same. Instead of petrol, here we are using diesel. Here fuel injectors are using. Here we are inject the fuel, but where we are not injecting the fuel, it will directly transfer into the cylinder. But here fuel is injecting into the cylinder and combustion takes place. Some as compared to that, this is little delay to ignite the spark. Okay, so same component I used here, that is a transfer the fuel means transfer the pump nothing but the fuel transfer pump is normally used on modern high speed diesel engine or battery. Some pump can be used with help of engine also you can run, or some battery are fixed in the vehicle. Okay, the fuel transfer pump can be located on the outside of the fuel tank in the supply line. So everyone knows, when everybody having vehicle where it is pump is fixed in the vehicles. Okay na? The fuel pump pushes or draw the fuel through the filters where the fuel is clean. So as we see here in the diagram, from the fuel is run by a battery or some engine. Okay, so next one is the injection pump. So number of different types of injection pumps are used nowadays on diesel engine. So each has a unique operating principle. So every injection pump having some specific characteristics, working nature. Okay, the main function of this injection pump is to supply the high pressure fuel from the injection. So here main function of fuel injection pump is to supply the low to high into the fuel injector. Okay, now from the fuel injector we are supply it will inject the fuel into the cylinder where combustion takes place. Okay. Mm. Next, so injection nozzle. So as we know, nowadays variety different of nozzles are used. So all are designed to perform the same basic function, which is to spray the fuel in atomized from form into the combustion chamber of each cylinder. So it will inject the fuel here. Look at it, the last part, fuel injector. Here the main function of that one, it will inject the normally to the each spark plug. So that spark plug depend upon the which engine cylinder you are using, whether it is 4-stroke or 2-stroke. Okay, so this is about the working of how to supply fuel tanks to the fuel of CI engine. Okay, I hope you understand this concept. Thank you very much.